What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader. So, in today's video, I'm going to be doing a bit of a Skyblock tour. Now, you can see most of the island here, the majority of everything we've built, but I'm not going to be showing a full tour of the island. Today, I'm actually going to be showing a majority tour of this small samurai segment which we've actually created. We've made a few different Japanese builds on this island as one of the themes, and there's a lot of different assorted things, so if you want me to make a video on the rest of the island, do let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to be giving you a tour of this castle today and showing you the inside, as well as the tree which we've made as well. Okay, so as you can see, I'm actually on the edge of the island now. We do obviously have a lot of different farms and things which do block the vision of seeing the castle, but this is the Japanese style castle building which we have, and it kind of resembles some kind of dojo. We actually did use a building tutorial, a step-by-step process to actually make this, but we did upgrade it and add a few of our own touches. This is really nice, and you'll see from the back there is some redstone going on there, and I will actually explain why that's actually in place later and show you some of the interior. Now, after I finished building it, I didn't really know what else to do in terms of making it look better, so what I did was I actually made this small bridge here, which you can see is made out of a collection of different wood types. This bridge doesn't really exactly match the look of the temple, and also you'll note that the bridge is actually pretty short and there's not much spacing in between the door side here to the bridge, so it does kind of obstruct the castle view from the front door a little bit, but all in all I think it does actually blend in really well, because what I did is I made the roof out of dark oak. The reason I did that is so it blended in with the wood on the roof of the actual castle itself. There was previously no way of actually reaching the castle, so I had to build some kind of bridge. So I used a combination of acacia logs, spruce logs and dark oak, and I used a lot of full blocks and half slabs, as well as stairs. And also, we actually added these trapdoors on the side as a little bit of an upgrade. I didn't add these, but I really like the kind of touch that it actually shows, because obviously it stops you from falling off, but it also just makes everything look so much better. So this is the bridge itself. Obviously it's nighttime now, so everything illuminates, and you can see some other parts of the island which I'm not going to fully show you yet. But let's actually go into the house. So on the front door we have two iron doors. Now this is new to me, these weren't here when I actually built this. It looks like this has been upgraded whilst I haven't been on the server, but I do actually like how this looks. Initially I just put wooden doors on it, but the iron doors do actually blend in with the white wool which we've used, and the whole stone theme, because they're kind of grey and white because it's iron. And obviously you can hear the phantoms outside, but you'll have to ignore those. Unfortunately there's like 1,000 phantoms on this server. But when we go inside, we were unsure how to actually make the interior, because it wasn't just me that worked on this project. After I finished the exterior, I did most of the interior, but then obviously we built together on the inside of the chest storage system. So a lot of this work is not just from me as well. So when we go inside, you'll see that there's actually some random chests, okay? This is because we made it into a storage room, because we had so much extra space to actually use up, and we didn't really have anything to put here. So you can see we do have a few different boxes here. These are all shulker boxes mostly, and the different colours. They're not really specifically colour-coded, it's just different colours so we can have lots of items of specific types in there. And if we look through, there's a lot of awesome items in here which are super important. Now, I don't really touch all these items because most of the ones in the shulker boxes aren't mine, but I'm just giving you a little bit of a preview of what's inside. Most of them aren't actually filled yet though. Some of them are, like these which are kind of semi-hidden in the top of the ceiling. And then we also have some mob heads and things for display here, which are pretty cool. These are new additions since I last played, so that's also quite a pleasant surprise to see a few of these little upgrades. And you'll see things like mob drops, gunpowder, bones are in some of these chests too. Now, the majority of these chests are actually labelled. This is because we needed some kind of item sorting system. We did have a better sorting system on the Pixelmon server. Maybe I'll show you a showcase of our Pixelmon base later if that's something you're interested in. But we have chests for food, redstone, weapons, armor, a chest for all the gold which we've gathered. This isn't my gold, so I'm not going to touch this. I do have my own gold chest. This is just things from the gold farm. Wood, flowers, basically everything. We could obviously add different chests. We'll probably end up expanding this system or making another room for it, but right now we have all these empty shulker boxes, and we also have around 4 unlabeled chests, and then also my personal chest here which has nothing in it. So we have a lot of stuff. We have enchanting books here, but we haven't actually moved all of the enchanting books over here yet because we have a separate area for that. So this is the storage room. This is probably the most important thing. There's not really that much inside the base. And then we're going to go upstairs. So the staircase looks pretty cool. This originally didn't have any of this fence in here. This is another upgrade too. The fencing is just to add kind of like a bit of a railing system on it to make it look better. And the trapdoors add the sides of the stairs, especially so there's two different colours there so it doesn't look boring. The only problem we had though is there is actually a slab here which has the fencing on, so we couldn't put another trapdoor here. I think what would be better is if we possibly removed this one slab and then put a trapdoor there and made the first block a one block walkway, but it would kind of mess up the symmetry of the whole build, so we couldn't really do anything on that. But when you go up the stairs, we have boxes for the stone because we use a lot of the stone building. And you'll see here, like before, the shulker boxes here. There's also another two cheeky hidden shulker boxes here. These are kind of just hidden storage. You'll find a few of these around the base. They're kind of pointless for now and we haven't used them, but it's kind of cool just to have extra storage. And then you'll see here are the original chests. So this is the cobblestone chest. This has tons of cobblestone from the cobblestone generator. We just dump it in there because we've got really nowhere else to put it. And we even have additional cobblestone chests down on the ground floor. And then in here is random chests. These are my chests. Now, one thing to note is I haven't been on this server for a long time, okay? So you'll see that there's no actual gold in here. Now, we can look on the item market and look through all the listings, of course, and see all the things which are listed on. Now, I don't actually have any gold listed on this market. My gold has vanished, so I'm guessing someone's just taken it, unfortunately, but I haven't played for a while, so I guess that was always going to happen eventually. But these are my chests, originally where I had my gold before it got taken somehow. And then over here is just some of the random items which I get from the daily kits on the server. Then there's yet another cobblestone chest. This is probably the third or fourth. And a bed, just so it's nighttime. And unfortunately, even though we've got torches here, the mobs do actually still spawn in here, so they can be a little bit of a problem. Usually it used to be creepers, but sometimes skeletons spawn here. And another thing which I haven't seen yet is this gold edition. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about this whole gold block addition to the base. As long as it doesn't affect the outside, I'm not really too bothered about it. This is new to me, but I do kind of like how grand it looks. It does actually look pretty cool. The only problem is there's obviously still space in here from the slabs, but I guess this upgrade isn't really finished yet. And then in the top, this is kind of like the attic or loft area, and there's two floors to this. Inside, this is the daily kits chest, the specific one, so everything I get from daily kits, you might see a few of the things in my inventory like enchanting bottles, cakes. Any rewards from the daily kits, I just throw them in here. Just because I don't really use those items, but they can be useful to sell or use in the future. And then all the tools which I get for the daily kits, I just throw them in here because I have so many duplicates that I don't really need. Then up here we have a staircase which has note blocks on. This looks pretty cool, and there's a trapdoor here obviously, and we can just climb straight on up, and this is the very top floor with these acacia doors. So this looks really cool. The balcony is pretty much non-functional though. You can go out literally just one block, which is the same block distance as the door, so you can't really see much, but you can open the gates and go onto the actual sidewalk and view all of the island from here. And you can see even here we can see one of the phantoms which has been making all the noise. So you can actually go onto the roof and the sidewalk, I guess, from the balcony, and the secondary balcony you can actually see most of the island, but you can't actually go that far out. You have to actually open the gates to go out there. So that's the interior of the base, but there's actually one more thing to show you in the interior, which is probably the most exciting and cool thing before we actually show the last part of the exterior. So we're going to go all the way downstairs, and I'm going to show you a secret lever which is here. Now this is another thing which I didn't build, which I'm actually proud of. It's actually a really nice addition which I think we added. I didn't build this specifically, although I was involved in the building process, but it just made it kind of better because we added a secret lever. We were wondering for a while how we could make some kind of secret walkway or tunnel or crawl space, and this is what we ended up with in the end. So you can see down here, originally this was just a square. It was built on just a square plane of grass, just like most of the other platforms we have in our base, and I was happy with that. But like I said, this was not my idea, but in the end I caved in and decided that it was okay to change the bottom of the base. So it ended up being cobblestone and stone, and then cracked stone bricks and vines, which got added in the end. And I'm really glad how this turned out when this was suggested to me. I didn't build most of this myself, the base for the castle. I built the castle and most of the interior, but the base was not built by me. But I think it actually came out really nice. Originally I was very reluctant to actually incorporate this into the idea. I didn't really want that to be the base. I wanted it just to be kept how it was, but in the end I actually think it looks really nice. And you'll see it looks like there's cracks in the ground, and it's kind of like an uprooted island or something that's floating. I think it looks really nice, and with all the cracked stone bricks and the vines, it makes it look a lot older, especially with these few mossy bricks which are there. But there's more importance to that than you actually think. So there's actually a secret passageway here which is already opened, so it kind of removes most of the surprise factor. But nobody will know this, but when you turn this, you probably might have just heard a piston move. When you turn that, now the crawl space is not actually opened, because this item frame, when you interact with it, it opens the piston and actually opens up this small little crawl space which you can actually go down into. The reason for this is there's actually a secret passage down here, and inside that secret passage we actually have kind of like a separate base down here, because we were playing with one of our friends and we were just messing around on the server and we didn't really have any space for him to build anything, so we decided to hollow out the floating island which the castle's built on, and we made a little cave for him inside to actually build in. So he couldn't build on the island, but he had to basically survive in this cave. And we gave him a few items to start off with, like diamond armor and saplings and things like that. And he kind of created his own survival biodome inside here, and he was just specifically surviving inside the island base of this castle. So that was actually really cool, and that's why you'll see some random things here like buttons and trees and just old survival things which have just been left in here. That's because he was surviving in here for a long time. And then we ended up also using it as a furnace system and a filter system. Maybe we'll add some more hoppers to the chest system at some point and upgrade this, but you'll see there's blaze rods and tons of furnaces to smelt stuff. So we kind of use it as a smelting room, but also this is the leftovers, I guess, or the ruins of his survival base. And you'll see he has a little farm which is 1 block wide. Tons of items in here, mostly of which were mine, which got donated to him, which I was actually really annoyed about. I wondered where most of my items were, but in the end it was actually super funny. So that's the bottom of the base, that's the secret passageway. Now what I'm going to show you is the outside system, because obviously to do this you need redstone. And redstone kind of makes sure that the piston and everything works, but it needs to be sneaked under the floorboards and blocks so it doesn't make it untidy. It needs to kind of be hidden in the build so you can't see it too well, but it doesn't ruin the appearance on the outside. This was actually really hard. Like I said, I didn't root this redstone system, so I have to show some respect for how it was built. But if you go around the back, there are a few additional blocks here which you'll see look a little bit abnormal. There's 1 block sticking out here, which is not supposed to be like that, but for the most part you don't look at the back of the build, so it doesn't really matter too much. And then inside here we have the redstone repeater, which I'm not going to touch because that will probably mess up the whole system. And hidden under here is a little bit of redstone as well, I believe. And you'll see just from the inconsistencies and a slight bit of messy blocks at the back, that's mostly where all the redstone's hid, and that's how the secret passage works. So that's the castle. It looks super cool, and that's how everything works from all the secret passageways, all the chest systems and the item sorting, and basically the whole interior. And the hidden area inside the bottom of the island, which most people would have no clue would actually be there. So I'm actually really excited to show you that. So the last whole part of the video is actually this tree. This is actually a tree which was not built by me again. I didn't actually build this, but I'm going to showcase it off in the video because I really like it and I think it's a great build, and I think it actually turned out really nice in the end, so I just want to showcase it in this video because I think it deserves to actually be featured in there. So this was a cherry blossom tree. We wanted to build something which kind of fit into the same style, and obviously samurais are pretty cool, so we wanted to build kind of like a castle or a dojo, just because it showcased a little bit of history and it kind of changed the theme on the island. The reason we have this Japanese castle which I showed you is because I actually built a Norse Viking longhouse here, which I'm going to showcase more in a different video, but I built a Viking longhouse here, so we thought, what else can we actually build? And that's why we actually had the idea to go with the samurai and Japanese theme. But you'll see we actually built this cherry blossom tree as well, which actually fits into the exact same style, because originally, if you've watched the Skyblock series, which I actually did, which is finished now, we actually had this as our starting point on the island. We actually had all of our furnaces and farm on kind of like a floating platform here, but when we destroyed it, we just had tons of space where the root and the base of the tree is, so we didn't know what to build here, so we looked for more inspiration. And I'd already started planning to build the castle, so we thought we'd build two things of the same style and theme so they actually fit together really nicely. And we ended up deciding just to build this huge cherry blossom tree, because this is something which we actually saw on the Blueprints website, which we were actually following for the build. Now, there's a few different key stages which we went through to build this. Like I said, I did nothing for this build. I didn't build this at all. So I'm just going to explain to you how it was built though. So there was probably around 16 different stages to this build. It was a blueprint. So each stage there would be different coloured wall pieces and blocks for the tree. And I think the tree base looks really nice as well. And basically each stage would be just adding different white and pink walls until it actually made it into the full tree form. There's also little details on here which you may have noticed. These are actually the lanterns, which actually make the tree look far much better and makes it look like it illuminates in the night time. And I think these are really nice features in this actual build. So this is the tree from the front, and also the great thing about this is it's kind of in the center, so it's really cool to have kind of like a huge world tree looking thing in the center of the island. And then everything else is just spread out in different directions from it. You want the middle of the island to actually be a really cool centerpiece, and I think that's what this tree is. It makes everything around it look really cool, and it connects with the theme of the castle. So this is it from the front, and as we rotate you can see the side profile and the back, and it's fully decorated with lanterns. I'm not sure how long it took to actually make these lanterns, but it took a course of a few days to actually build this tree, because I was watching the process as it was actually built, and it actually took a long time. Now you'll see at the top, you'll see there is actually a few floating wall pieces which kind of look out of place. That's because when you actually come really close to it, you can see the few inconsistencies, but when you actually zoom far out from it, you can see how good it actually looks. So that's the tree, and then to the right of it is the castle. And one small bonus piece I actually want to show you is the first piece of pixel art which we actually built on the island. So it kind of ties into the same theme, so I decided I'll probably just show it you at the end of the video, just because it matches the same theme and style. Now you'll see, unfortunately, these vines, which have been placed since then, have kind of overtaken it, which is a shame, but you can still see it behind here. This is the first pixel art piece which we actually built so far. I'm sure we'll end up building some more in the future, but for now this is the pixel art piece which I built. So we had tons of different coloured wall pieces and wood pieces left over, so I wasn't sure how to build it. And I'd just come on from finishing the castle build, so I decided to actually make a pixel art piece. And at the time I was watching Avatar the cartoon, so I decided to actually make Aang into a pixel art on the Minecraft server, and this is what it looks like on the floor. Now for this build I used many different wool types, so I had to use a lot of different dyes to get the wools, and I used brown wool, black wool, oak planks, blue wool, red wool, yellow wool and orange wool. So there's so many different types of wool. It took me only a few hours to build this, but mainly the time it took was just dyeing all the wools of the sheep and waiting for them to actually grow their wool back. That was probably the process which took the most time. But I'm really happy with this, and it looks really nice. And this is our slime platform, which is actually built on, where we have different things on here which I'll show you in a full island tour if that's what you guys want to watch. So that's the final build which I'm actually going to show you in this video. So I've shown you the pixel art build, I've shown you the castle and also the tree. I just wanted to go through these few different builds of this theme in this video because I haven't done Skyblock for a while and a few people enjoyed those videos. So if you liked it, make sure to like the video and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below if you like Skyblock videos, because I'm thinking of doing one more video just to show you all of the things on our island, but that will probably be a really long video. So if that's something what you do want to see, do let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.